All right, class, welcome to a new week. Now, I'm recording this early because on Monday morning I'm going to be out of town on some university business. So, just wanted to record this and make sure you got it on time. So, the readings for this week. Well, first, let's talk about last week a little bit. You did a post on Microsoft Sway and Adobe Spark page. You created something using these tools, and one of the points that I wanted to make was that they are pretty easy to use. Obviously, both of them require an email login, so that's going to restrict the people that can use them. But for students who have an email login, they could log in and create their own project, right? So this is another tool that you can use to take advantage of all the different media that our society or information age offers now, and allow students to create some project or some thing to show their knowledge about a topic. So that's another option for this, actually. And I think, in some ways, Microsoft Sway and Adobe Spark Page are easier to use than, let's say, a Google Sites website to create. And so that's arguable, but I think that you could think about how students might use these tools also to create something. Of course, this would be older students most likely. You're probably not thinking the elementary age, except maybe upper elementary. All right, so textbook chapters 20 and 21 you're going to read this week, and the topic is on quizzes and rubrics. Quizzes, tests, surveys, and rubrics, and matrices, I guess we'll call it. There's a lot of different things that they talk about, different tools that they have out there. And I provided also a couple of articles on how to, how to make rubrics. What are the things to consider when you make rubrics, and how to make those work. And what types of projects you might create types of rubrics for. So that's what the first article is, and the second one as well talks about the good, bad, and the ugly of using rubrics for grading. And make sure that link works okay. Looks like it does. So that's what we have for the readings this week. Then there are going to be some presentations on some quizzing tools. So Kia, Quizlet, Quizzes, and Rubistar. And so I guess they're quizzing tools or study tools, and Rubistar, of course, is a rubric creation tool. So those might be some useful tools for you to know about, especially in light of some of the activities that I'll have you do for the discussion board this week. And I think this might be the last discussion of the semester on quizzes and rubrics. So create an online quiz or create an online rubric using one of the tools listed in the reading, or Plickers, getkahoot.com, or another quizzing tool. And I think a lot of you have probably already done something with Kahoot, so probably not that. You want to pick something that you have not experienced yet. That way you can learn something new. And then share it with the rest of the class on this discussion board. And tell us whether you think you would use it in your own teaching and learning. What are the advantages of these tools over paper-based tools that do the same kind of thing? We've talked about the SAMR model, where you just substitute something for another. But this would be more like augmentation, right? Because you're taking something that you would normally do on paper and using a technology tool to do it instead. So what are the advantages that come with that? And what are some of the disadvantages of these tools as well? So post your initial response by Thursday, and then respond to 2 or more other students' posts by the end of the week. So that's all that is required for this week, but I am going to go ahead and look ahead. April 15th through the 20th, there is an assignment due on April 20th, and it's an e-portfolio assignment. So e-portfolios are a new way to look at how students learn over time. They can serve as an assessment tool that is more authentic than just a simple quiz or test. So we're kind of taking it to the next level as far as authenticity is concerned. E-portfolios are collections of student work organized according to subject areas on a website. So, and we'll learn more, I think. Yeah, we have some information about e-portfolios next week as we look at those. But your assignment for this, for April 20th, for this day, is to create a project for your students in which they would create their own online e-portfolio. And so you're going to give them directions on what to do to create this portfolio. What are the pages or elements that you want to see in the portfolio? And then you could choose a possible site. You're going to choose a possible site that they would use to create their portfolio. Now, you actually don't have to create your own e-portfolio unless you want to create one as an example student e-portfolio. But what are the pages? The assignment really that I'm asking to see from you, it's going to be a paper, and in it you'll include directions to students for what their e-portfolio should have in it, and be very clear and specific. So it says, you can make up pages, projects, and assignments for the portfolio that your students should include in the portfolio, and a rubric for grading the e-portfolios that your students would submit. So in other words, you're going to create your own assignment. And in this assignment, students should have to create an e-portfolio. And you'll specify what tool you'd like them to use, like, again, Sway, SparkPage, Google Sites, Wix, Weebly, or another website making site. And then focus on the aspects, the rubric shouldn't focus on grading the actual assignments and projects that the students include in the e-portfolio. Instead, the rubric should focus on the aspects of the e-portfolio itself. So let's say you have students create a Google Sites page featuring all of their work from the semester. Then your rubric should be about that Sites page, not about their work that they did long ago in the semester. So that's the project. You're going to create this assignment for your students. And if you don't currently have students, you can be creative and make up the types of assignments that you would like to see them submit in this e-portfolio. Yeah, but here's how you'll be graded. Is the e-portfolio site to use indicated and appropriate. The directions for the assignment are clear and complete. Required pages are outlined clearly. So in other words, you need to tell them what pages should be in every student's e-portfolio, what pages they should create, what assignments should go on each page, and the rubric should be appropriate too. So just looking forward a little bit, that's not due till April 20th, but of course I want you to know about it sooner so you can kind of be looking toward it as you're looking at, making rubrics, making quizzes, and making portfolio, or talking about e-portfolios next week. All right, I think that's all for this week, so good luck getting started.